Welcome back to Aether Eternius, Dark Side of the Foundry. Last time, several things happened. On your original pursuit to explore the city to find out what was happening, you've been pulled aside by the ever immaculate Yogg Sothoth. He talked with you, warned you that there was something very, very dangerous lurking within the city. And after a bit of back and forth, you guys eventually, rather begrudgingly, accepted his help. The help, in particular, was a music box. The music box seemed rather unassuming, but it had a mirror on the inside of it and played a low, droning tune when opened. Continuing forward, leaving the sort of side realm that he pulled you into, you went into the streets of Atlantis, only for two of your party members to suddenly become compelled, almost dominated, to follow some sort of unknown will. This caused them to move forward toward what eventually would be discovered as a hole in a fountain, a hole that could only be seen through a mirror. Through some clever thinking, and using the music box, you were able to stop the two from potentially walking to their untimely deaths. However, upon closing the music box, Freus the druid realized that they weren't entirely sure what had happened. They hadn't seen anything, they didn't remember anything. So you guys continued forward. A few other oddities here and there, but nothing stopped you as you guys headed toward the train station, which also acted as sort of a subway into the subterranean lower workings of the city. You never got far though, as it was eventually realized that it was sort of barricaded, blocked off to prevent people from going in. And two of your party members, through use of the music box, discovered that something was looking back at you. Something was down there. And upon further investigation, you realized that although the station looked pretty much intact, it was the scene of many murders. At least the music box, at the very least. Holes, bloodstains. And as you bickered amongst one another, you realized that everything had gone quiet. You were suddenly alone. There was no people in the station, prompting you all to essentially panic and leave. Again, I'm paraphrasing a lot of this. There were some moments between Freus and Rose, but more importantly, you guys eventually all left the station and headed to the library, where you made a startling discovery about what exactly you are up against, or at least you think of what you're up against, and that is a False Hydra. As of right now, you are still in the library, you have gained a long rest, and now I leave it in your hands.
I reply to your seatbelt comment in the OC.
Everyone put on your seatbelts. And those things cost more lives than they save. Boom, 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 boom.
Good old Futurama.
Currently, at least in the case of Off the Clock, Freeze and Tiberius are reading. Various and Rose are off somewhere else talking. Not entirely sure what Flix is doing.
Flix will be downstairs a minute. Children being slow.
Make sure you also enter roll 20 when you get back.
Did you say something about a map?
Roll 20.
Roll 20.
Yeah, but did you say something about a map?
No, when you get back.
When you get back.
Oh, okay, because Tiberius wouldn't have listened to anything about a map.
Yeah, you know, a map you threw out last time.
Just
you know
that
map.
Sigh.
Do you guys have a map? Tibbs, do you have the map? What map? Never forget. Anyway, you guys are still at the library. There's no one there. Just you guys.
Well, there was never anyone here.
No, never was.
Freus is just reading about Yogg Tiberius.
Mm-hmm.
Rose is still with Various trying to locate, see if they have any books or tomes that go over theories or applications of magical security.
What in particular are you looking for in terms of magical security? Like wards, barriers, purification rituals? Are you looking for stuff on ghosts?
Mainly wards and barriers, how they are constructed, how they operate, and possibly how they are circumvented.
So, like, abjuration.
Abjuration magic, essentially. Give me an investigation roll.
Investigation.
$14. You're able to find general books, sort of like the general applications of various abjuration magics, shields, barrier spells, but it's not specialized. In fact, there's several points in several spells that say in order to ward against specific things, you need to get more refined spell work and more refined rune work in some cases, which the spell does not have.
Can various also look?
You can, yes. Same thing. Investigation. Much better. Various, you kind of skim over the book that Rose originally had, and you're like, this is general knowledge. This is stuff kids know. This is the stuff that you kind of go into when you're a beginner, that sort of thing. So you begin skimming the shelves. You know what you're looking for, and you eventually pull out a book. Let's call it Keeping the Outside Where It Belongs. Something simple like that. And it's about keeping things like aberrations, outer planar beings from other planes and stuff like that outside in a case. So these are spells that kind of relate to warding a location. Not so much a piece of an area, but more of a location.
Is this what you're more thinking of, Rose?
Let's see.
As he holds up the book.
Rose will grab the book, and they start to leaf through it, and as they do so, their pupils start to almost dilate a little bit as they start to flip faster through this.
Mm-hmm. And actually, give me an Arcana roll for something, Rose. Okay. As you begin to flip through the book, a few things do catch your eye. Mostly thinking back to, remember that black splotch that you had originally seen kind of on your soul that's connected to the house? There is a passage talking about something like this, where signatures of outer planar beings can often be identified by ink splotches on its runic pattern.
Rose, how could you have gotten signed up by Yogg? That seems to be quite a feat.
Rose taps lingers on a page of the book there for a moment. That's interesting.
Mind to illuminate me?
There's a... And Rose turns the book around so that Various can see it as well.
Mm-hmm.
There's a section of this that talks about these signatures, and last time when I was connected back to our house, I saw something similar like this pop up.
Mm-hmm. And there's several different markings on the page, but the one that definitely stands out is the almost pitch black ink splotch that, according to the cliff notes on the page, seem to represent aberrations, outer planar beings, and something about how dark it is relates and correlates to the strength of said creature. The darker, the more powerful.
Can I make an intelligence roll really quick to see if Various makes a connection?
Sure. No.
Well, he has.
It's kind of the case of like you don't know the exact nature of what Rose has seen, so you can't quite put it together. But at the same time, you don't know how exactly that would correlate to Rose in any means, because he hasn't really made any promises with Yogg, if that's the case.
The only thing Various can figure is that Yogg is watching them for some reason. Probably the same reason he contacted them.
I'd say, yeah. That's probably the only thing he's able to kind of put together. And as for Tibbs and Freas, for the most part, Freas, the passage reads as it would describing any sort of god, of how they can't be predicted, how they don't care much about the goings on of mortal lives, but at the same time, you do realize something as you begin to read is that there's not a lot of information on Yogg. It's full of skepticism in some cases. And not only that, but some passages depict Yogg as orbs gathered in a unrecognizable mess of knowledge and information, and as you remember, he looked quite put together. So it makes you wonder.
Yeah, this Yogg seems really sane.
Mm-hmm. Is this an avatar? Or is he fooling you? Yeah.
I believe Freas would just keep reading whatever it is until Tiberius stops her.
Mm-hmm.
No, keep going.
And it's a lot of the same stuff that Yogg is a godlike being that has unmeasurable, unfathomable power. That kind of stuff, like you usually would see people drone on about gods and all the terrible things that they might be able to do and stuff like that. But one particular does strike you as a little odd. It often refers to him as the key and the gate, past, present, and future.
Rose does nod down at Various, but then looks back to the bookshelf and one eyebrow sort of arches up. There's one more thing I want to check out here. Do you see anything about astral projection, manipulation, anything like that?
Conjuration magic, probably. So I'd need you to roll an investigation for that, both of you.
Oof.
Rose.
Various is well versed in trolling libraries.
Not only that, but considering the fact that you're more you're more well versed in libraries, so you know Various would be on a lower shelf than what Rose is actually looking at. So you're kind of watch Rose for a few seconds, kind of get that little confident smirk before reaching out, pulling a book from the lower shelves.
And would this be more what you're thinking of?
The title just reads The Weavings of Creation.
Rose picks up the book and opens it up, and instantly they just start flipping through pages like a lot more rapidly than they did for the first book, and almost they start sort of pacing around a little bit.
Now, what exactly are you looking for, Rose?
Rose is generally just scanning through the book and then starts muttering aloud, I know this. I knew this.
Deep breaths. I know that it probably won't do you much good in survival standards, but it does tend to relax one's mind.
No, I mean... No, those pains I was having earlier.
Yes.
It got me thinking. I was just trying to find the right terminology to latch onto this, and Rose just absolutely flips through page after page, almost like speed reading it. this. I used to practice this. It's just it's fragments, but this almost feels too familiar.
And who is the author?
Rose, give me an intelligence saving throw, please.
Oh boy.
Oh no.
Okay, you succeed. Rose, you could have swore you felt that familiar twinge at the end of your subconscious, but you're able to push past it. You may choose one free conjuration spell, cantrip, or level 1 and add it to your spellbook.
Oh boy.
As memories of your past life begin to slowly trickle in. You remember an orphanage. You remember a society. But nothing much beyond that. You remember being taught things, but you don't remember what.
Rose, seeing as their body posture calms down and they close the book back up, we'll hold on to both of these then, and whatever else Freas and Tiberius have dug up.
Where is Flix? He starts glancing around.
Where is
he started going around between the bookshelves, just looking for anything that might catch his eye.
Give me a random 1d20.
He would have to go to the children's section for that.
Oh, shut up.
Oh.
Hey, that's where the
You never know. Give me a random 1d20, please.
Hey, they have videos there.
Okay. 13.
Little Yogg and the Way of the World. Is that what he's going to find?
Where is it?
Hey, you're the Yogg boy, not me.
Where is it?
Madness of the
okay.
Fae.
Flix, you're kind of moving along the bookshelves, and you spot one particularly interesting book. It almost looks like it's made of crystal, as if it's been broken. It's very pretty, very glittery, almost.
Uh-oh.
It's a fate trap.
No. It's a very pretty, almost shattered crystal-looking book.
I'm gonna take the book and skim through it.
Okay. Are you gonna open it up?
Yes.
Give me an intelligence saving throw, please.
Which one?
Intelligence, please. Okay, it wasn't a very high DC. You actually did pass it, because this is something I'm doing for all of you guys.
How? He's a stupid boy.
It is as you open it, the entire book kind of explodes into a glimmering, crystallized glitter bomb in your face. And you're kind of annoyed for a few seconds before the glitter kind of fades away, and you realize that there's no words in the book, but you feel as if you've gained something from it. You have learned the 2nd level bard spell Shatter.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh.
Ooh.
Tiberius.
Yes.
As you're listening to all of this, you're kind of fading in and out, in and out. And for a moment, you feel as if your body kind of slips away from all of this. Your body stays, but your mind remains. And for a brief moment, you almost remember your childhood.
No.
You remember... Yes.
No.
Yes. You remember your mother chastising you over something. You don't remember what, but there was something in her hand that she used against you. Some sort of coiled whip. But at the same time, you remember being almost fascinated by it. A way to use it for yourself. And before you're really able to delve too much onto this, give me an intelligence saving throw.
I mean, sure.
Okay. You kind of snap back, and in your mind, you at least play out the scene as you wished you could have seen it. You see yourself grabbing the whip, tearing it from her hands, and using it yourself. But as you use it, it twists into a shadowy tendril. And after a few moments, you hear sudden snapping in front of you as if Freeze is trying to get your attention. You have remembered how to cast Tasha's Mind Whip.
Oh,
You've learned it. You've remembered it.
Wait. Uh-oh.
I have given you the spell in Whispers.
I'm sure this is fine.
Alright, let me look up something real quick. I need to check my notes.
What's up with this library, guys?
The Library of Remembrance.
Various.
Oh no.
As you're kind of looking over books, one in particular catches your mind. And it seems to be about Eidolons.
Oh. He's gonna snatch that book right up.
Mm-hmm. And as you're kind of looking through it, it seems to be in particular almost a book that dictates how to build and shape parts of Eidolons, but more importantly, how to better grant them free will.
Oh.
Give me an intelligence saving throw.
It'll be fine, guys. Aw.
It's not a very high DC, don't worry. For a moment, as you're reading this, you get the sudden burst of kind of inspiration, and you feel as if you now know a way to not only separate Belua from your actions, but allow Belua to take his own turns. Various, you gain the information and knowledge to be allowed to grant Belua his own turn in initiative.
Oh.
He will no longer take place on your turn. He will have his own initiative and his own actions.
Not sure this is a good thing, guys, considering what Belua is.
In fact, Belua, as you're reading this, feels a little bit more confident in themselves and gains +1 Constitution.
Oh. Guys, this really isn't good, considering what Belua is.
And then we finally move on to Freus. As you're reading through this tome, Freus, you're starting to notice that there's different patterns and wavelengths amongst these strange creatures. It almost feels like you can probably use it for yourself. You start kind of skimming through a few different things, kind of looking at like, oh, this one kind of dictates over material, this one over various different places of the mind. And then you get to a few other pages that dictate how they watch the world. And you're drawn to a very peculiar spell, or rather, a set of runes. Can you please give me an intelligence saving throw? Perfect. As you're staring at these runes, instead of getting lost in them, you immediately take out your journal and begin to write them down. And as you're writing them down, you begin to understand what they are. It's a scrying spell. From this point forward, once per long rest, you can cast scrying without using a spell slot.
Ooh. Oh gosh, where am I gonna write this?
Just fun little bits from the GM for you guys making it this far. And this is some stuff that you might need in the future.
Oh, yay.
Close my door. Yeah.
Squeak, squeak.
Various is going to tuck that book into his things that he has with him.
Mm-hmm.
Let's find Flix. I have a bad feeling about just... I'd like to know that they at least have somebody with them.
Yeah, I thought I made it loud and clear. We're not supposed to go off on our own, but...
Don't... He's been through a lot just like the rest of us.
Alright, let's go find him before this whole library gets glitter bombed or something.
Speaking of, you hear a glitter bomb go off, but it's not his. It almost sounds like a wind chime.
I swear.
It almost sounds like a wind chime going off, just...
Various is almost smirking a little bit as he starts towards where the sound was.
Mhm.
And Rose follows.
And you two both see Flix holding a book that looks like shattered crystal, covered in glimmering gemstone-looking glitter.
There you are.
It wasn't me, it was the book.
Poetic.
I'm telling the truth.
I meant poetic as in justice.
In fact, and the best part is, Flix, is as you kind of tip the book a little bit as you're talking, just more of it pours onto the ground. It's like endless stream.
I'm gonna take this book with me.
All right,
Oh,
make
no.
sure you add a shattered crystal book to your inventory then.
Oh, why? You've
Yes.
given Flix endless
Endless
glitter!
glitter. The best bombs are coming.
Mm-hmm. And have it subtext as produces an endless amount of crystallized glitter. Completely useless, but you know what? I'm rolling with it.
You think it's useless? It's going to defeat the end boss.
Throw the book in their mouth, they get filled with glitter. Kaboom.
I have endless glitter book. Let's do this.
Let's all get back together. We need to talk about how we want to move forward now. And what we need to do to prepare, or... well...
Yeah, let's go see how the others are holding up.
So we start to make our way, most likely, back towards Frius and Tibbs.
Mhm. And they're still kind of at the table in the library. They haven't really moved. They just seem to be talking.
By the way, Nova is hopefully at least the beginning of her travels still in her notes.
Which beginning?
Pretty much like right as she joined the party.
Yes, they're still there.
Okay.
Everything from when she joined the planes forward is perfectly intact.
Good.
I was thinking maybe we should sit and talk for a moment.
Oh, good. More sitting and talking. This is the most wonderful time to do this when people are disappearing. Go ahead, Varys. Tell us about your childhood, shall you?
As I was saying, I had a bit of a thought.
Well, that's dangerous.
Phrase
we weren't in
whops
the
Tiberius in the back of
library.
the head.
I was thinking that perhaps we should get in contact with the person who sent us on this particular task. We have the what now, which was what they seem to be most interested in.
And you think that Glacier is going to take care of this problem on his own? And not send us directly into the mouth of whatever this thing is?
if nothing else, he might have the means for us to counteract its abilities.
Oh, I don't want to see him again.
Look, we already have a way of counteracting the abilities. It just requires one of us to go insane a little for a few minutes.
Well, maybe he has a means to at least help the others, or at least counteract some of the insanity. Just have to ask.
Oh, very well. We'll go back and talk to Glacia, and hopefully one of us doesn't get shot again.
No.
You
There's
can wait outside, Flix.
well, there's also the fact that
Which will come with us. Have you forgotten the point that people that are out of view tend to disappear?
Buddy system.
Yeah, I don't want to disappear because that would be bad for all of you. I mean, who would you have to play epic tunes for you?
Yes, it would be terrible.
It would be horrible, I know. Thank you for understanding.
well, there's also the fact too that there's apparently another way down into the sewers underneath Glacia's penthouse. Maybe if we can, I don't know, spare the knowledge that we've gained so far, maybe we can try to eke out the method of how to get down there that way, rather than having to crawl through whatever's in the subway station.
And maybe he actually has a map. Accusing glare.
Your words have,
There is where the map
your
goes.
words have convinced me we should go and speak to Glacia in case he has one of those map things.
I mean, think you lost?
You have no idea about that.
I'm assuming you lost it.
No. Can't lose something you didn't care about.
You've got a point. Not just the one on top of his
Alright.
head.
I have 2 points. Ears. They're very pointy.
Oh, I'm talking about the bump.
I don't have a bump.
Freas. Yes, there is some sort of strange pig-like creature in your notes. You don't know who it is or what it belonged to, but it's in there.
Oh no.
It would be right next to Flix's passage,
Mm-hmm.
and it would be described as Flix's pet or familiar.
And you don't remember anything about making this passage.
Flick.
Are we good to go
Flex.
yet?
One moment, Flix.
Yes?
You wouldn't happen to know a name Truffles, would you?
Nope.
No. It's a good name, but no. Good solid name. Good solid name. Nope. No, don't know it.
We may have already lost someone.
I told you.
According to my notes, when I've met you, there was a pig named Truffles who can supposedly fly.
A pig can fly. Oh, well, this place is quite strange.
I think I know if I had pig familiar.
I still err on the side of caution, but yes, we probably should at least do some hurrying. At least get some bullet points down before we start rushing into every passage.
Yes,
Rushing.
let's get back.
You're going to tell us all before you get to action. Fine, let's move quickly.
Get something to eat on the way out and just quickly go say hi to Glacia.
So we are escaping the library.
Mm-hmm.
Going to see
Stop you.
gonna go see Glacia, and we totally didn't steal books. It's fine.
Oh yeah, no one's there to stop you.
Oh, Frace would have returned, well, at least the yacht book.
No,
Ferris ready
no.
to eat off to the side.
Because the thing is being weird, and I'm trying to grab my token, but it's also grabbing the map at the same time.
What?
Oh, right-click the map again, because if you right-click and then go off the
Oh, okay,
application,
there
it
we go.
it freaks out a little.
Okay. It was just like,
That's freaking. Yeah, you guys are free to move. It's actually gotten a bit busier, I'd say, outside since you guys have been in there, since you've taken a nice long time to kind of sit in the library, get your bearings, get some information, and it's a lot busier outside. Still not as busy as a metropolis city should be, but
run before the DM can stop us.
more or less explaining everything, but
You can't catch us, demons.
If we close our eyes, you can't see us, so therefore it doesn't count.
But yeah, no, if Freyas does notice that no one's there to stop them, she will at least take the book on the False Hydra to show Glacia.
no one stops you guys. You guys kind of head along the sidewalks, but who would like to roll me a random 1d20? Who wants to do it?
Ooh, I choose Rose.
All right, Rose, give me a 1d20.
You've been volunteered.
He was chosen.
Rose, as you guys are making it across the street, in particular, right about here, someone decides to run a red light as a carriage goes sailing through the intersection. Give me a dex check.
Oh.
Dex check or
Wait,
save?
who?
Save.
Save.
For who?
Rose.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, yes. I thought someone else would pay for it.
Okay. You kind of see it coming as this large dragon begins just barreling through the intersection, and you just step up and step back, kind of fall back a little bit back onto the sidewalk as it goes just screeching past you down the road.
What the hell, man?
And you just hear someone screaming back at you, "Get out of the road! Fire!"
Freyas will help him back up. Give him a little dust off.
I don't really like this place.
Well, at least it's exciting.
Are you two coming?
Yeah. Come on.
You guys, for the most part, make it there without
Any
real
murdered by
issues.
people in chariots?
Yeah, let's just say that. But you eventually, I would say it takes you about an hour on foot, and eventually you do make it back in front of Glacia's penthouse. And it's about the same scene. Greed's carriage is long gone, as to be expected. The same guards are still at their posts, at their stations, and everything seems completely normal here. So I'm making it back to this. Yeah. Seems like that list.
Various steps up to one of the guards. We need to see Lord Glacia.
Switch my second. And the guard kind of looks down at you. They're rather heavily armored, but they kind of look down at you because they're rather large. And it was like, Lord Glacia's not seeing visitors right now.
We're not visitors, we're people he hired.
Do you have proof of that?
Can you just contact him?
As of on cue, you
Okay.
hear something crackle kind of in the guard's ear, and you see one hand kind of raise up, cup something on the side of their head before they're like, yeah, okay, yeah, all right. And the guard looks back down and he's like, all right, head on through.
Various looks back at the others, waiting.
That Barris is already walking past. What are you talking about?
No fear.
Yeah.
Freyas is following because
Waiting is for peasants.
So is Rose.
You have the exact same scene before you as when you originally left. Secretary at the desk, kind of sifting through paperwork, taking calls here and there. Empty lobby, guards everywhere. Nothing too spectacular. Nothing's really changed.
Do the elevator things?
Yeah, elevator's still there. Do you know how to operate it, though?
Well, I did push the big red button because it was gaudy.
Mm-hmm. And that's what you guys see happen. Tibbs just kind of walks through the lobby, right up to the elevators, pushes the big button.
He's not gonna hold the door. He's like, "Are you coming?" As the door is starting to slowly close.
Pretty much.
Flicks.
He reluctantly goes in the elevator like a child, shuffling its feet angrily.
And Various takes up the rear.
All right. So everyone's in the elevator?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Much better than last time where I had to sneak my way in.
Let me just do one of these. Okay. As the elevator begins heading upwards, it does stop on a few floors. But as the doors open, no one's there. And it continues going up, stops again, doors open, no one's there. This happens a couple times, actually.
Did one of you hit the buttons with your enormous derrieres?
Don't look at me, I've got a flat butt.
Low glance at Rose.
I've just been standing here.
Various looks at them. May I have the music box?
You look in the elevator, just surrounded by the False Hydra, just slowly close the music box. You know what? It's better I don't know this.
Furious will open their pack, and they go to open it a little bit, but they close it and hand it to Various.
And Various takes it and
Mm-hmm.
takes a deep breath and opens it.
Where does he look toward?
He's going to do a slow pan. Like
don't
he's gonna turn in a
see-
circle with the mirror.
You don't see anything when you point it toward the elevator doors, but as you slowly pull back toward the back of the elevator, kind of where you're standing, you tilt the mirror up and you see something looking back at you. A gaping humanoid face that looks like it's in an endless torrent of agony, staring at you through that mirror.
You see him freeze and his ears just straighten out.
Oh boy.
I didn't know you could use that straight.
Shut up.
Various, what's going on?
And as the elevator rises up, you see it's pulled down as you guys begin to rise upwards, leaving whatever it was behind.
It was. What? Something was up there?
Is it still there right now?
No. When we moved it, I think, the doors opening, I think, it may have been
As you
feeding.
guys are rising upwards, the elevator shakes, as if something is attached to it.
Close the box.
No. If we close the box, it'll get us. And we won't even know.
Then best for us to move forward and get this done with before all of us disappear. Close.
That's what we're trying to do.
Has anyone noticed we've stopped going up?
Mm-hmm. The elevator seems to be caught between floors.
It's
And
hyperventilating.
Can you all roll me perception, please?
Oh, yay.
I don't want to perceive.
I'm going to drop this first.
Okay. All right.
Not a bad idea after this.
18 on mine.
Only Rose hears this, but you can swear you can hear the gears and the cables that are struggling, that kind of pull this thing up, are struggling against something.
Various,
Yes.
I need you to train that thing upwards.
He starts to turn it upwards.
Who's looking through it?
Various is.
I believe it's Various.
Various, as you turn the mirror upwards, you see this pale, fleshy tendril wrapped around the kind of coils and ropes that are pulling the elevator up.
He's going to immediately magic missile that thing.
Okay, and you hit, no problems. Roll me some damage.
And
Okay.
that's, I think, I get 3?
Yes. Perfect. As these bolts hit this, you all hear this unholy shrieking at the edge of your subconscious, as if something was just torn apart. And you see, Various, that the magic rips apart the tendril, as it almost looks like it's rotten flesh underneath, as the tendril rips in half, and you see the main base of it coil down below where the elevator shaft was coming from, and the elevator begins to move again. But you all hear this scream. It almost sounds human.
So imagine he just tipped the music box forward so that he could see upwards, and then immediately hand goes up, magic missile goes out.
And then you all just hear this almost bizarrely human scream that just shrieks out in pain. And the elevator begins moving again.
Did I ever mention how much I hate the guild?
Well, on the bright side, at least we're moving.
Nice shot.
Various, I'm
Magic
going
missile
to
can't
ask.
exactly miss.
Various, I'm going to ask something very difficult. Until we stop, please keep the box open.
Oh, I wasn't planning on closing it until we stopped.
At least be on solid ground before we risk something else.
And Belua is sort of growling in the corner.
Mm-hmm. And eventually, the elevator does stop at the top floor and the doors open into the penthouse.
See, that wasn't so bad.
You just had to say it.
But can you all give me a quick perception, though? You saw Various fire something off, but did any of you actually look up?
Nope.
Okay.
I mean, it's Tiberius.
Oh,
I
wow,
don't
okay.
want to proceed.
Okay. Frias?
Various didn't look up.
Oh, she didn't look up. Flix, Rose, Tibbs, you all see that there is, in fact, some sort of white, fleshy tendril just hanging there that's been burned and ripped away from whatever originally was a part of. You can see it. Actually see
squeal.
it.
I squeal loudly.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Tiberius is going to squeal in joy because if we can see it after it gets hit, that means we can hit it. Good.
Yeah.
Good job, Various. I say.
Belua's gonna try to clamber up a little bit and reach to grab that.
Belua, as you grab it, it's cold, it's clammy, it's squishy, it's like you're taking hold of a decaying body part. It's disgusting. Even more so, it reeks.
So, necrotic calamari, got it.
Pretty much, yeah. It's not covered in scales, it's covered in bizarrely human-like skin that's been stretched thin, so you can see the veins and everything under it.
Moisturize me.
Moisturize me from Doctor Who.
The thing was based off the silence.
When they're off the elevator, Various will stick a hand on the box to keep it open, kneel down, and ask, Various, is there anything you want me to remind you of before you close this?
that I am a very good shot.
You
And he shuts the box.
don't remember the face. You don't remember. You remember the ride up there, but you don't remember anything that happened during it. You don't remember the thing that you saw. But you do see the disgusting thing that Belly was holding.
Ugh.
And at this point, Freya's, while they're distracted, takes the box back.
What happened?
You shot that thing, blew it up with some kind of magic missile, and you saved us from eternal damnation or crashing into that thing into the ground. So, good job, Various. Can we move forward now?
Right.
Just so you know, this thing absolutely reeks.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Tiberius has the handkerchief in front of his mouth already.
Is he at least one battle tile away from everyone?
This thing is permeating more than that.
Let's go. Then he
And the door to Glacia's office is open. But Codicus is nowhere to be seen.
Oh no. Do we remember
Is it-
Codicus?
yeah.
Yes, you do.
Okay.
Okay.
Lord Glacia.
Do you enter the room?
Yes.
Okay. And the room's about the same as when you left it originally. But there are more lights on, and you do see Codicus. He is in there with he's in there with Glacia, and they seem to be going over several different papers right now. Over a large cork board. Actually, it's more of a whiteboard, and they're definitely doing some stuff with markers, circling things, and they kind of look up as you enter. It's like, oh. Wow. I'm surprised the elevator took that long.
We ran into an interesting bit of trouble. We have some knowledge for you. I even brought you
Alright.
reading material. And
evidence.
Alright, and exactly what the frick are we talking about?
she takes the book, flips it open to the page, flops
kinda
it down on
roll-
the desk.
And you
You'll
can
head over
thank
to the
Flix
desk.
for finding this information.
I ain't thinking the favor jack shit. He kind of mutters under his breath before he takes the book and kind of looks over it.
I stick my tongue out when he's not looking.
And funny enough, you actually see him pause for a moment, go to one of his side drawers, take out a small pair of reading glasses before putting them on his nose to read. He kind of starts reading over it silently. Codicus is looking at Belua. It's like, what in blazes did you bring with you? I didn't know that that thing had food for it.
Yeah,
That's
you-
not food. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, whatever. The material that's in the book. Apparently your penthouse is also having an infestation problem.
And you guys actually see Glacia's brows furrow as he is really into reading the passage. And you kind of see the cigarette that's he usually has in his mouth drop. Son of a bitch.
Oh yeah, that fills me with all kinds of hope right there. We're dead. We are dead. Dead, 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 dead. Our life ends as soon as we go down to wherever the hell that fleshy thing is from. We are dead.
Glacia closes the book, takes the glasses off, and rubs between his eyes. It's like, the son of a bitch has let that fucking thing out. I swear to fucking God. Do any of you know what this is? What? Okay.
Well, we've read, certainly.
See, I've got the privilege of knowing some very nasty things in the multiverse. Kind of comes with the position, though. This, he holds the book up, kind of has the finger where the page is. This shit's bad news. This shit's, you don't normally see these. These are usually locked up in the deepest, darkest pits of whatever abyss they come from. Because even things that created the damn things are scared of them. That fucking thing's loose in my goddamn city.
You
Explains
did
so much.
describe the sewers as an abyss. Why not have a new home?
This is bad. This is really, really bad. 'Cause if it's been down there as long as we think it has, from when the disappearances first started, I think it's been down there for almost a year. And that's bad.
Well, there's something else, like Rose was saying. We apparently had trouble getting up here, and he looks to Bellowa, and Bellowa holds up the horrible, fleshy, rotting thing and sort of inelegantly plops it on the desk, because Bellowa is Bellowa.
Ugh. Yeah, Glissy kind of grimaces like, ugh. If it's gotten here, then it's getting strong. That's not good. Son of a bitch. Do you know where it is?
We can get ideas, but usually upon looking at it, we usually lose the memory of looking at it.
No,
So
that's about right. Fucking thing exists in what's called a blind spot. It's not invisible or nothing. It makes you forget. That's its whole thing. Until it's too late. Makes you
Well-
forget everything. And the only way to see the damn thing is through a mirror. Or
any old regular
some other
mirror?
reflective. What?
Any old regular mirror?
Any mirror. Any sort of mirror. Anything that can cancel that whatever that comes out of its gaping maw, too. Song. They call it a song. You gotta deafen yourself. Or else it'll make you forget. That's how it makes you forget. 'Cause it sings.
So, what do you propose we do? We're not exactly as powerful as, well, you.
If I knew where it was, I could get rid of it. Problem is, I have no idea where it's at. If I knew where it was, I can get rid of it. But I don't. Or else that thing would not have lasted as long as it has.
Well, you did say things have been even weirder than normal in the sewers.
Mhm.
Seems like
We've
that
had
would
people, we've had people babbling crazy things about seeing faces, traders going missing, just in general nonsense going through the sewers. Not been down to the sewers, and it's been crazier than usual, but that doesn't exactly pinpoint where the damn thing is.
How about I make a proposition?
All right.
You give us the equipment to see and not hear this thing. You give us a map of those sewers so that we know where we're going, and some method to contact you quickly from said sewers. We locate it, you take care of it.
All right. I can provide you with a couple of those. I was in ways to deal with it. I don't got many spare mirrors around here. As for
Well,
the
you
song, well, you could just plug your ears, but I imagine that's not a thing for you.
You mentioned anything reflective.
Yep. As long as you can see it through something reflective, you'll see it.
I can probably play something to drown out the sound.
He shakes his head. It needs to be something magical. Or you just plug your ears. You have to either stop yourself from hearing it or cancel it out.
Flix is, his music is magical.
But can't stop a song that you can't even hear. Can it stop silence?
As for the reflective question,
Mm-hmm.
who are some of the best metalworkers in this town? maybe get us to at least have, say, a piece of metal just polished high enough to act as a mirror. Nothing too big, just so we can at least have
Really
more eyes.
look like Earth? The only
Just a
smiths we
question.
got around here are gunsmiths, and they ain't shiny, as you've seen. We ain't Earth, as I've said.
Never hurts to ask.
Well, I can provide you a map to the sewers. That's not hard. And if you find this thing, then yes, I will happily take care of it. As for contacting me, he kind of looks to Codicus, like, do we got any of those things laying around at all? Codicus seems to ponder for a few seconds before he actually leaves the room. Give him a moment.
In the meantime, there is one other request I'd like to throw on the table. You said that underneath your penthouse there's a method to enter the sewers then.
Mm-hmm.
We did find one potential one at one of the subway stations, but seemed to be quite heavily barricaded there. Might
Yeah,
make
with all
for...
the well, shit that's happening down there, I'm not surprised. But, yeah, I could, let you go through, my storage. As long as you don't touch nothing.
Oh, of course not.
Wouldn't
Yeah,
dream of it.
Yeah, what? Who would ever touch something in a lord's vault?
All Freys does is flicks his foot, looks back, and is just silent the whole time.
As long as you ain't gonna touch or mess with nothing, I'll let you use my underground. That's fine. I will mind you that the sewers are known for having a bit of a snake problem. You know, some sewers have rats and all that stuff. No, we got snakes.
Is there another place we can go that doesn't have serpents?
No. In fact, they're one of the most common pests here in water.
Any way to keep them away from us?
I mean, they're kind of small and kind of pathetic. Probably just kick them.
Any way that doesn't involve us touching them?
You're on your own.
Hmm.
But, yeah, I can get you a map. I can get you way down there, and, Codicus does come back, and, it looks like he has some sort of blue aquamarine gemstone in his hand. And he seems to be using some sort of chisel device on it. Yeah, Glacy kind of frowns. It's like, really, aquamarine's all we got? I'm sorry, my lord, but, most of the rest are lost, as you come to understand. Yeah, that's right. And, Codicus will kind of hold this, kind of a carved aquamarine out to the group. Just one.
Freys will take it. Another one to the collection.
And it's got kind of a strange rune on it. You don't know the meaning behind it, but you've seen it on several banners around the city that seems to depict the symbol of water. Glacial nods like, channel a little bit of magic into it, doesn't take much, and you should be able to easily contact me. It's kind of connected to me, you know. Aquamarine, some other gemstones tend to resonate well with the plane of water, and with the right rune work, a little bit of magic, you can easily contact the realm, which he kind of holds his arms out to the side. It was just me. Can kind of do that with the various different gemstones of the planes, you know. Nifty little thing.
Freys has a book open and is now writing.
Mm-hmm.
Very well. And did we get the map of the sewers?
Oh, yeah. Hold on a second. And Glacy starts going through his drawers, going through stacks, going through folders, kind of sifting through things before he takes out kind of this folded up piece of parchment and kind of hands it over to you. Looks like a subway map almost.
Are there defining like landmarks or letters or anything on it?
There's a few, but for the most part, it seems to just be the different rail systems depicting what is below there. Now, it ain't gonna show points of interest, Usually, whenever you're doing covert operations, you're not gonna exactly broadcast where you're at. There is a bar down there, been there a few times, so one should be pretty easy to get to if you want to look for information. And he'll kind of take the map for a second, get a red pen, and kind of mark a small section of the map.
How about the location that I need to find?
That, he kind of heads over to the other side of the map. It's kind of a little bit further from that one, and he marks what looks to be a kind of blank section. You're going to want to look for a caved-in wall right about here.
Understood.
And, mind the blood marks. It's not a pretty sight.
And while you're at the map, the black market you mentioned?
It moves. I cannot exactly pinpoint where it's at. Especially right now, with everything happening, no one's been going to it. No one's that crazy. Greedy, yeah, but not crazy.
Any other questions? Looking around to the group.
That's all I have.
How long will it take you once we contact you to come and deal with this thing?
Oh, trust me. You don't have to do anything. He kind of smirks at this.
And after this, Flix's debt is paid?
We'll say that, yeah, it is. You'll get off scot-free. Sound good to you?
He looks over.
We're just fighting a giant monster scot-free.
We just have to find it. He gets to fight it.
Yeah.
You know that's not what's gonna happen. That's never what happens.
Look, if this thing's been down there feeding off people for this long, there ain't no way in the abyss that you lot are fighting that thing. You will not survive. No ifs, ands, buts, or whats. Don't fight it. If you find it, you let me know, you run.
Duly noted.
So, where's that supply area?
Cod, you want to take him on down? Yes, sir. I'll take him on down. Alright. If you're all ready, follow my main man. He'll take you right down there. And Codicus will actually head out toward the elevators.
And off we go, I think.
Away we
Yes.
go.
Everybody will follow.
Yep, me too.
And he
Zoom.
actually won't go to the main elevator. He'll actually go to what looks to be a service elevator instead. And you see him produce a keyring from his coat. And unlike the other elevators that have a large button that you press to open the door, this one has a keyhole that he kind of puts a key in, turns it, and the doors open. It's kind of like it's a larger elevator, without a doubt. It looks industrial almost. It's got these black and yellow markings on each side of the doors, and it's also double-sided. More importantly, the walls seem to be padded, but he kind of motions for you all to get in.
Get in.
Yep.
Yep.
Oops, that's the wrong one.
I have a crazy idea.
Mm-hmm.
So Freyas wrote down what she heard Various describe those faces as.
Mm-hmm.
Is it possible that she can use that to scry on the False Hydra with just the description alone?
Potentially. You will have to make a save for it, though. As will it. And you will have to beat that save. It will be a long ride down, so you have plenty of time to do it if you want to do it.
You know what, Frace will bring that fact up to Various. Not whispering it so others can hear, but directly telling Various. I may have learned something new while we were at the library, and I may be able to look at something that's at a distance. The better I know it, the better chances I have to see it. And with you looking through the mirror the first time, I feel I have at least some kind of description.
Is there any risk to you?
Not sure. I may not be able to see the location or too much around it, but I'll at least be able to know if it's the main creature or looking at us.
He looks to the others for their input.
Everybody's just gonna shrug.
It's your call, Frias.
Yeah, it's up to you.
What's life without a little experimentation? And she will cast Scry and try to look for
Give
face.
me a wisdom saving throw. Oh wow, it rolled really low. Okay, this will be interesting.
Oh,
Francis,
no.
begin to cast your scrying spell. You hear whispers on the edge of your subconscious. You don't know what these voices are. It's an alien language. You're pretty sure you cast the spell right, but at the same time, as the elevator begins to descend, you see corridors littered with boxes, broken crates, old bedrolls. You see marks of blood here and there. You see something writhing in the darkness. But whatever it is, it's pushing you back as you're immediately face to face with some sort of face. 5 of them. And you immediately snap back from your scrying spell.
Ooh. Oh.
Are you alright?
More importantly, you remember what you saw.
Surprisingly, a lot better than we have been with the mirror.
Really?
We aren't dealing with just one face, actually. We're dealing with 5. And it is quite large and in the dark.
Wonderful.
She will pull her book right out and attempt to draw what she remembers.
And it matches the description of what Various screamed about. It actually matches it quite perfectly.
But we can't see it unless we have a mirror.
And unless we want to go plane hopping, Glacius said they are short on mirrors. And it's probably best not to break our little gift.
The elevator begins to slow down to a crawl, eventually stopping, juddering a little bit before you hear clicking sounds as the door begins to open. And you are met with a very, very poorly lit room that has one way out.
Oh.
Oh, no. Not this. Yeah. It's quiet down here. You can hear skittering in the shadows. You can hear the droplets of water falling from some sort of fall or off ceiling. It's dark, it's muggy, and more importantly, it's cold. It is very cold. The ground itself is incredibly wet, and the walls seem to be covered with mildew, and things skitter away from you in the dark.
Remember, watch out for snakes, I believe he said.
And Codicus has left us here.
Yeah. Once you all leave the elevator, Codicus will look back at you and it's like, well, we'll be looking forward to hearing from you before the doors close.
See you at your funerals. Beep.
You should be at the very top of the map somewhere.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. There is
There's no
to move
grid.
on. There's no grid. Mostly because I couldn't get the grid to work. I will say this right now. You cannot see very far in front of yourself. At most, you could see up to 5 to 10 feet. So, Tibbs, as you kind of move ahead of everyone else as they're kind of getting their bearings, you see that the kind of long, mildewy hallway is kind of held up with brick and mortar style construction, with the occasional wooden beam supports holding the ceiling up. More importantly, you see that the hallway ahead does fork. Again, there is no lights. It is very dim, very dark. In fact, the only thing that seems to be giving you any light is the water that's kind of flowing through the cracks of the brick and mortar walls. It has a slight bioluminescence to it. Very slight.
I don't like this.
Seconded.
Rose, you can create light,
In fact, Rose, at this sentence, you realize that your light's not going very far. It's almost as if the air itself, whatever this glowing water is canceling your fire out, or at least the light that it produces, as well as the heat. For once in your life, you feel cold.
About that. Well, it's pretty clear that we're not going to be able to illuminate ourselves with anything ignitable down here, unless anyone happens to have another light source on them.
Checking inventory quick.
Jelly Bean's awake.
Jelly Bean!
He's awake. He's in front of the keyboard.
Frace will take out a torch and ignite it. See
It
if
takes
that
a
does
couple
anything.
tries because of how kind of humid the air is, but you eventually do light your torch. It gives a little bit of light, but not much. Much like Rosa feels muffled. In fact, you can even see the flames kind of struggling. You know how usually when charcoal burns after a while, it's more embers? That's kind of what's happened to your torch. Like the flame started off originally very strong after igniting, but then have turned more into a slow, kind of lightly burning coal.
Bryce, do you have by chance any rope on you?
Rose shuffles through a pack and I think, let me see. I'm pretty sure Rose has a pack. Let me see. Yeah, Rose would be able to eventually pull out a coil rope.
Well, is it dark? Only really two of us have any source of light. I suggest that we either all hold the rope like good little kids following the granny on some kind of trip out to the market, or we tie them around ourselves in case something grabs one of us, it grabs all of us.
Is the torch actually giving us more light than what we're currently having?
No.
What happens
Fire
What?
seems to be weakened here.
Oh no. So what would happen if Frace were to try putting the torch out in the bioluminescence water?
You can try. Bless you.
Sorry.
Well, not wanting to put a lit torch in her pack, tries to put it in the water to put it out.
It violently hisses out and creates this almost neon blue smoke. More importantly, the liquid almost reaches and grabs the end of the torch, like it's kind of crawling up it, and tries to pull it from your hand.
She will willingly let go of it and just let it go in and just staring at the water.
And you see the torch disintegrate into the water as if it's being eaten.
So don't touch the water either. Excellent. We're in the dark. We can't see anything. Can't touch the water. And there are snakes.
You can see the water, by the way. You can see its glowing bioluminescence. It's kind of in little puddles along the ground and almost in vein-like structures along the walls.
Correction. We can see the death. That's much better.
Kind of like, you know how water flows through cracks in rocks? That's kind of what it's doing.
Flix.
Mhm.
Various looks up at Flix.
Flix's eyes are closed.
How are you doing?
I don't like this place. I don't want to be here. This was a mistake.
I know this isn't exactly ideal.
Flix, is your mascara waterproof?
No, when the hell have I been in water?
So, Paris, as you're looking up at Flix, you can definitely tell that some of his eyeshadow is running just a little bit from how muggy and humid it is down here. Just a little bit.
We're gonna get through this, right?
It's horrible. Absolutely horrible.
Quick question, Nova.
Yes.
Tiberius is going to ray of frost some of the water.
Okay.
He wants to see if it freezes.
Okay. Show me the spell. And yes, the water freezes for a moment. But it almost like it freezes for a few seconds, expands, absorbs the ice, and doubles its size. Like it absorbed it.
Oh.
Well, that was the idea of making some kind of bioluminescent torch.
If anything, it made it a little bit brighter in the area you are currently in.
But now there's more death water.
But yeah, there's more of it now.
Yeah, not a good trade-off.
But you can see just a little bit further ahead.
Well then, who here has the best sight in the dark? Certainly not me.
I actually have a slightly... Well, it's mostly an idea for the snakes, but I figure if we don't need my brain anymore, I can turn into a bear and try to be first line of defense for snakes.
Flick sheepishly raises his hand. I can see in the dark.
Oh no!
I don't want to see in the dark, but I can.
Oh, come now. At least you'll see the things coming and hide behind the giant bear. Instead of it
bet
attacking you when you can't see.
You might be able to talk Frius into carrying you.
Flix looks at Frius. Looks at his wings. I'm good.
Oh
Right.
no!
So then I guess Flick's at the front. And everyone behind the Fae.
Flix, you can fly, correct?
Yes? Oh, yeah.
That might help you with the water situation.
Now, the ceiling is only about 20 feet high. It's not very... It's not
Still,
very
all
tall.
you need to be is like 3 feet to 2 feet off the ground.
And like I said, it's
Yeah,
only small
it's
puddles.
enough to be not in the
easily,
water.
you can easily step over the water for the most part. It's like very easy to step over. Most of it's on the walls.
This is a confusing sewer if the water's on the walls.
Well then, if anybody wants to be on the back of a bear, I think I should at least be one. I think it would help at least with the snakes. Maybe Belua can carry Various, just so they have a better chance of not falling in the water.
Like, as you get to about that point, you can see that this kind of see a kind of a side room over here.
Okay. There's forward, and he lifts up his hands. Right.
Various,
Oh, we're doomed.
Various is going to look at the map that he was given.
The map various. You can pretty much get an idea that where you're currently at is in a storage area. And you know at the very least the room to the right is more storage. Going ahead is pretty much leading toward the way out.
All right, so the one to our right it's labeled as storage. So that may mean goods, but it's definitely not going to take us forward. So forward would be...
Didn't Glacia
Option.
say you had to go through his storage?
Did he?
Mm-hmm. But
Oh.
you also know that this could also mean an entire area is marked as storage. And this is more of a side room. You won't know.
It
The map's-
depends.
The map's not super detailed, you gotta remember that.
Yeah. Is it written in primordial or common?
It's written in primordial.
It's difficult to tell. I'm not as familiar with this language.
Let me take a glance there.
Okay, let's...
And yeah, for the most part, this entire area that you're in, at least from what you can discern, Rose, is labeled as storage. There are some paths through it to the main sewer channels, but it's, again, not very descriptive.
So from Flix's point of view, to the right is storage, and straight forward goes to where?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what's straight forward of Flix?
More storage, but that also leads toward a more open room and more open passageway, from at least what you can tell. The room exactly to your right is just more of an offshoot room.
From what I can gather from this, it looks like at least continuing down that hallway is gonna most likely get us somewhere.
Do any of us have a piece of metal or mirrors or...
You currently only have one mirror that I'm aware of, and that's the music box.
Anybody? Check your explorer's packs, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Guys got any mirrors that we can give Flix?
Besides looking through, trying to use the black ink in a bottle? Nope.
I'm pretty sure I carry a mirror because of who I am.
Oh, you probably have like a pocket mirror to check your makeup and stuff.
Yeah.
Yay! You maybe not yay, but
Yay, time to get traumatized.
So is anyone against me being a bear for this trek?
I mean,
you just feel safer as a bear, don't you?
If we're dealing with snakes, I'd rather be able to gnaw on the situation.
That sounds like a decent enough idea, and you might be able to carry Rose. He seems to have the most to lose to the, well, particular situation we're in.
Sorry, that's my keyboard.
That is pretty much the idea I had. Maybe he can jump off and avoid the water if I happen to fall in. But first of all, she'll hand the box to Various, so somebody at least has it. And then use Wild Shape.
Member.
Yep,
Okay.
Various.
Various.
Badoop.
You've got this, Flix.
Is Rose getting on the bear?
Rose will ride the bear.
That's not as far as that's not where I wanted to go. There we go.
Well, I'd like to point out there's a second person gets to ride Freyas. That isn't Tiberius.
That is not what she would say.
I'm just saying he asked politely.
Well, there's always Belua.
Nope. That nightmare can remain where it is, at the back.
See, pretty much the same stuff, more brick and mortar. But as you reach this point, Flix, it opens up into a much larger room. To your left, there is a large crate that's kind of partially blocking the door. A door that has long since fallen out of repair and is kind of in shambles on the ground. You hear slithering in the dark, stuff that's moving.
Oh, that's healthy. I'm going to creak the door open slowly.
As you do, it falls off its hinges and just on the floor.
Huh.
It's kind of
I'm
gross and mildewy.
To step over onto the door and slip my tiny wiry frame through.
Okay, that's not hard to do. Much like the other rooms, this is very dimly lit. You see kind of another box over here. You can't see much in the way of anything over here yet. It's too dark. But you do hear more slithering going on.
Oh, I noticed something. Can Freyas smell the snakes, possibly?
Roll me survival.
Aw.
You just smell mildew and mold.
Damn.
That's it.
Because I just noticed the bear has keen smell. I'm like, it's worth a try.
This water smells like water.
Damn.
Anyway. But yeah, for the most part, it's rather quiet aside from some scuffles in the dark.
Can Belua squeeze through that gap?
Yeah, I'd say he'd be able to kind of squeeze through. He's got to kind of suck his chest in a little bit.
I'm a bear can too, then.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good.
You kind of see the shape of another box over there.
What's up, big girl?
And you actually see a wall.
What's wrong?
I'm scared.
Of what?
When you have to call this soup off, and
It's not coming out.
It's not coming out anytime soon,
so
kiddo.
I mean,
Oh,
1 second, kids.
oh, okay.
my teeth.
Ellie, you might want to mute.
And we're back.
I'll come back. It's like sitting over there.
Yeah.
Okay. And see more boxes, but in particular, you see something slithering in the dark over here. You see some sort of shape on the ground. And you see another wall. And as you get closer, you see some sort of snake-like creature on the floor. It seems to be in the middle of eating something. It hasn't noticed you.
Hey, Rose, remember what was really effective against the snakes?
It doesn't seem to have noticed you. It seems to be in the middle of eating a rat. And it's kind of a little grotesque considering you can see through it. It's translucent or transparent. So you kind of just, yeah, it's not a pretty sight. Flix is like, nope. There's more wall and a box.
That is wise.
More box. And you see a hallway.
Oh,
Can I check my map about that hallway?
Sure. What exactly are you trying to discern about it?
Where is it leading?
You get the gist that it might lead out to the main sewer entrance.
Okay.
I think, yeah, your mics are still active.
what?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
And as you get to about there, you see two different ways you can go. You see another room over to your right, and you see something leading down. More importantly, from this direction, it feels like there is a breeze coming in. And you can hear rushing water. And it kind of opens up as you walk down here until you eventually go through a large old archway. And from the looks of it, you pass into the sewers. There is a huge trench of flowing bioluminescent water in front of you that goes rather deep and looks rather fast. Flix, are you sure you would want to go to that point? That's the edge. Yeah, that dark line, that's the edge.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
I
thought
thought
that
that
was
was a
sidewalk.
walkway.
I'm
Okay,
sorry.
yeah.
No.
What?
Oh, that's a wall. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what's there?
Water. Lots and lots of water. This is probably the sewers. It feels very sewer-esque.
Hold on. You do see a bit of light coming from across the way over in this direction. Just a little bit, not much.
Give me a moment to look at the map and figure out where we need to go.
You see a small bit of light coming out from over here.
Looks like we need to head this
Nope.
way.
Various, not down there.
Oh.
That is not a
That's
walkway.
That is not a
Yeah.
That
walkway.
is not a walkway?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the walkway.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
That's falling off the edge, that dark line.
Yep.
Okay. And this is the way, Nova?
Mhm. That's to the right.
Oh,
From this perspective.
right. This way.
I was pointing out that way because you can see light coming from over there.
Everything all right back there, Freyas and Rose?
Roar.
Are you becoming the best of chums?
Oh.
I mean, you do have quite a hot item on your back.
Please, bear face.
You see that there's various planked boards kind of acting as pseudo bridges up ahead.
So, I think we crossed those boards.
And there's another one across the way.
Oh, that inspires confidence. Go across rickety boards that could snap at any point with a giant bear on it. Grace, I hope you don't mind if I ask you to wait till the rest of us cross before you try. I'm
Gives
not
the
assuming
best,
that you are large, but you are a bear.
basically the most berry way you can look about, do you think I'm an idiot? Oh wait, no, I am an idiot. I only have an intelligence of 2.
Which is totally wrong for bears. From somebody
Oh,
whose
oh,
dad researched bears.
Their wisdom is 12, though. The intelligence is 2.
Those things can figure out how to get stuff down from those tree hidey things. You know, where you tie up things. They would figure
Yeah.
out how to undo the knots and not
I'm-
just chew them up.
I'm just going by the D&D logic right now.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
Which way, Varys?
It's across the boards.
The 2 boards or the 1 board?
Something's. I see that! I see that!
Me too.
Across the boards. That was it.
Let me reveal that area so you can get up on that. The kind of blue-gray areas are the walkways. This one's a little bit more narrow over here. A little bit more precarious.
Which way does your magical map say now, Various?
This way. Let's wait for Frias and Rose.
Frias, as you go across, please give me a dex save.
Oh, no.
Because, yeah, you are quite heavy, and the boards are groaning a little bit under you.
Oh, darn it. Oh, that's a flat roll.
Do I now? Would I have a chance to see that Frias is having some difficulty?
Yes.
Can he assist?
How? How would you like to assist?
I'm checking
How
something
would you like
real.
to assist?
I'm checking something real quick about that.
Grab the ears and pull.
Wait, what kind of roll is Frias making?
Dex.
Dex save.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Oh.
mine is not gonna work.
I have the roll already. Just tell me yes or no.
Sure, it's fine.
Nothing's happening, Various. Don't look behind you.
Grr.
Yeah, my idea's not gonna. Yeah, guidance is gonna work here. So much for that.
You've got this, Various. And if you fall in the water... Oh.
Yeah, as the board starts wavering, you kind of get your bearings and get it bearings.
Bearings.
And then you immediately kind of dash across.
Whoa.
Like,
Okay, let's.
Well, that was almost
moving.
unbearable.
You could say we barely made it.
Are we doing puns? Is that what we're doing here?
Just hearing Ellie in the back. Oh my gosh. Is the bear able to fit on this path?
barely.
Oh my gosh!
Let's keep going.
And reveal areas. You can actually hear sounds coming from the other side of the wall. Sounds rather rowdy.
Not like snake hissing rowdy, is it? Is it snakes having a party? Does snakes having a
Jazz
party?
music.
Okay, that's not snakes having a party.
Wait, what?
Unless
Jazz
the snakes
music.
are now jazz.
Remember he said there was a bar down here?
Uh-huh.
Tunnel snakes rule.
I kind of choose to believe that it's just the snakes having a party because that sounds kind of amazing.
Yeah, Belua.
Still down from here?
You see that there's some boards heading across the way to your left.
But is this the which way's the path?
You can't see very far. You know that on your map, it seems that to the X that Glacier marked out for you is this way.
Across the boards.
Across
But
again.
but which X? He marked 2.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine.
It's this way. Don't worry about it. It's all cool. Nothing bad could possibly go wrong.
And there's a wall there. This one's a little bit wider to walk on. These boards are a
Various
little
is
bit more
the
sturdy.
most trustworthy navigator.
Fucking snakes. Look at them. Little fuckers, they're moving. You little bastards.
Mute yourself.
No. You need the commentary. Look at them. Two, where'd they go? There were 2 of them there and they're gone now.
It's
They
fine.
didn't move. They're gone. Like they disappeared. Like they snake Houdini'd.
Okay, Felix.
Where'd the other one go now.
It's okay, Flix. You don't see it.
It's fine.
It's not fine. They snake D-need.
Does Barius make it across?
Yeah, you're able to make it across these ones. These ones are more like
Damn.
metal platings than wooden boards.
Horrible.
Oh, okay.
Well, to be fair, bards have a better chance against them than others.
Yeah, because I can fly away and run.
No.
Jin was a bard when they had to deal with them, and she discovered something about them. But yeah,
I still
it
stand
continues
when I
forward.
fly away and run.
Continue.
This just feels like an RTS to Nova right now, I bet.
Just a little bit. As you kind of reach this area, you see that there's a big, giant gash opening in the wall. Kind of a large entrance that's been forcefully blown open.
Okay, something exploded here. It could be good or bad.
I think this is our stop, or at
Okay.
least mine.
As you begin to head inside, you start to notice that the revel continues further in. And whereas you originally smelled mildew, you begin to smell something else, like chemicals and something metallic. Flix, as you step forward, are you watching where you step?
No.
You step in something liquidous, red, and reeks of iron.
I look down.
You stepped in a puddle of blood.
Oh, that's not nearly as bad. I thought it was a snake.
Realization in 3, 2, 1.
This area is a bit more well lit, and in fact, as you look up, you see two of them. Once it reveals. You also see various test tubes and old, worn-out desks and broken beakers and all kinds of alien-looking stuff.
They're making blood snakes.
All these things skittish.
No, in fact, the two that were in there look up at you guys. And stare at you.
Darius, what hunts snakes?
Uh,
I pull out my lute.
Okay.
I'm going to try to sing them a lullaby to make them go to sleep.
Roll me performance.
Charmer, if you will.
Roll performance.
wow!
Damn!
Oh, okay.
So instead of putting them to sleep,
Snakes.
so Flix, instead of putting them to sleep, you see both of the snakes stare at you, fixated, before they kind of start wiggling around. Like, you know how cobras do when you play music to them?
Oh,
That's what they're doing.
I'm literally snake charming them.
They're kind of
I'll just keep
doing that
doing
little
this while
wobbly
you guys
dance.
search.
Ah, yes, Flix, Lord of the Snakes.
And I would say
Internally,
for the
we
next,
think.
with that roll for the next, I'd say 10 minutes, they will now follow and obey you.
Oh my god.
But,
Meanwhile, Rose, or at least he is back there, is having flashbacks.
So these two little snakes will now help you.
This is fine.
Ooh. Tibbs,
Acceptable.
as you kind of walk past this first large sort of tube, you see something floating inside of it.
Tim's is putting his face in Henson and looking inside.
It's a mangled, twisted thing that seems to be made out of vines, but on closer inspection looks to be made out of twisted, formed blood vessels. Whatever's in there is obviously very dead, and may have been a person at one point.
Huh.
I know.
Mom called you.
All right, can we take our break now? It's time for dinner for me.
No, Mom called you.
Yep.
So we need to take a break. I need to go eat dinner, so I will be back.